Welcome to our session on competitive analysis and market share mapping, crucial for understanding your business landscape. Today, we will explore how leveraging GIS can lead to smarter, more strategic business decisions. Today, we will explore understanding competitive analysis, a crucial aspect of business strategy. We will focus on assessing market position using powerful spatial insights provided by GIS. First, let us define competitive analysis in the context of business. This involves identifying and thoroughly assessing competitor strengths and weaknesses. We also analyze their strategies, business models, and customer base comprehensively. Ultimately, competitive analysis helps us understand our market position. Now, let us consider the vital role of GIS integration in this process. GIS incorporates critical spatial data directly into our analysis, enriching insights significantly. It allows us to visualize competitor data geographically on detailed maps. This mapping of locations provides us with much deeper and actionable insights. We will now delve into the core aspects of GIS competitive analysis. You will see that everything truly radiates from these fundamental spatial insights. One core aspect is precisely mapping competitor locations in the market. This involves mapping their physical sites, such as stores, warehouses, or service centers. Another crucial aspect is estimating the market share held by businesses. We can estimate the distribution of market share across various geographic regions. Furthermore, proximity analysis helps us understand competitive relationships spatially. This means understanding competitor locations relative to your own business operations. Finally, analyzing trade areas helps define customer reach for competitors. We analyze regions where competitors have a strong presence and customer base. Let us explore the various GIS-driven competitive analysis types available to us. These diverse approaches help us achieve a comprehensive market understanding. We begin with proximity analysis, a fundamental GIS technique. This analysis helps us identify the nearest competitors to our business locations. It also allows us to examine areas where trade areas might be overlapping. Next, we have density mapping, another powerful GIS tool. This technique helps us visualize the concentration of competitors in specific areas. It allows us to clearly identify crowded market regions with intense competition. Buffer zone analysis is also very useful for understanding market influence. This involves creating specific zones around competitor locations, typically by distance. These zones help us determine strong market influence areas for our rivals. Lastly, we have trade area analysis, which is crucial for market definition. This helps us identify the specific service regions of our competitors. We can then assess how much these areas overlap with our own target market. Today, we are defining market penetration analysis, a key business concept. It involves understanding how widely a product has been adopted and its overall market reach. A primary component is customer reach, indicating how far a product has spread. This measures how far a product or service has spread across a given market. Another important aspect is geographic coverage, which defines market presence. This helps us understand where the business is strong or where it may be lacking. We also perform market share comparison, a critical competitive measure. This means comparing our market share against competitors in specific geographic regions. Finally, market penetration analysis helps identify significant growth opportunities. This allows us to identify potential for expansion, especially in underserved areas. We will now discuss the essential market penetration metrics. These metrics help us quantify our market presence spatially and effectively. First, let us consider market coverage, a fundamental metric. This refers to the overall geographic extent of your market presence. Next, we have the penetration rate, which measures customer adoption. This is the percentage of potential customers who are actively purchasing your product. Customer density is another important metric for market understanding. It represents the concentration of your customers within a specific geographic area. Lastly, sales distribution provides insights into performance across regions. This metric shows the spatial distribution of sales across different geographic regions. Let us now examine the key roles of GIS in market penetration analysis. GIS helps us visualize and analyze our market reach geographically very effectively. One key role is mapping market reach, which is crucial for understanding presence. This involves visualizing precisely where your customers are located on a map. It also helps in understanding the extent of purchases within different regions. Another vital role is assessing competitor penetration in the market. This involves analyzing the coverage of your competitors across various areas. We can then evaluate our relative market position in a given geographic area. Finally, GIS is excellent for identifying new growth opportunities for your business. It helps in pinpointing high potential regions for expansion and increased sales. This identification is based on crucial demographic and consumer behavior data. Today, we will define what exactly constitutes a business trade area. These are the geographic regions that primarily attract your valuable customers. We typically start with the primary trade area for a business. This is the immediate area around a business, where most customers originate. For instance, this often falls within a 3 to 5 mile radius of the location. Beyond that, we identify the secondary trade area for the business. This covers a broader distance, still contributing a significant customer portion. These customers come from beyond the immediate vicinity, but their presence is strong. Finally, we consider the tertiary trade area, the outermost region. This represents the outermost area from which customers make occasional visits. Usually, this area accounts for a smaller number of overall customer visits. We will now discuss GIS methods for accurate trade area measurement. These powerful techniques help us refine geographic market boundaries precisely. One common method is buffer zone analysis, which defines proximity. This involves creating zones by distance or time around specific business locations. Another powerful method is using Thiessen polygons, also known as Voronoi diagrams. These define regions of influence, with each point closest to a specific location. Travel time analysis offers a more realistic view of accessibility. This method accounts for complex road networks and actual traffic conditions. Finally, demand estimation models help quantify market potential. These combine demographic data with spatial information to gauge market size effectively. We will now outline the steps for developing GIS-based expansion strategies. The first crucial step is to clearly define your business goals and expansion objectives. Next, you need to collect all the relevant spatial data to inform your decisions. Subsequently, perform a thorough spatial analysis to uncover patterns and opportunities. Then, carefully analyze the market potential to identify promising growth areas. Finally, evaluate the economic and operational feasibility of your proposed expansion. Let us consider a case study on retail chain expansion, which will help illustrate these concepts practically. Here, we will apply GIS for strategic site selection to maximize our chances of success. First, we must clearly define our business objectives for this expansion project. A key objective is to increase our overall market share in the target regions. We aim to expand into areas exhibiting high customer demand and low competition. Another crucial objective is to optimize the locations of our new stores effectively. This means selecting sites with a high concentration of our target customers. We also need to avoid areas that are already saturated with our competitors. Next, we move to the essential phase of data collection and preparation for our analysis. We begin by gathering all relevant location data for our analysis. This involves collecting the precise locations of both our existing stores and those of our competitors. We will use a combination of reliable public and private data sources for this information. Additionally, we need to acquire comprehensive sales and demographic data. This includes obtaining detailed sales volumes and customer demographic profiles. We must also include data on population density and income levels for a complete picture. Now, let us proceed with the GIS analysis to understand the competitive landscape. We will perform a buffer zone analysis to understand market reach and overlap effectively. This involves creating 1, 3, and 5 mile zones around all store locations. These zones will help us visually identify areas of market overlap and potential gaps. Next, we will use competitor density mapping to visualize the competitive environment. This technique allows us to map the concentration of competing stores across the region. It helps us to clearly identify highly competitive regions that we might want to avoid. Furthermore, we will conduct trade area and demographic mapping for deeper insights. We will determine the geographical areas that attract most of our potential customers. Then, we overlay demographic data to pinpoint high demand, low competition regions. With our analysis complete, we can move on to strategic site selection. This step focuses on identifying the most prime locations for our new stores. We will prioritize areas with low competition but high customer demand. We must also ensure that the chosen sites offer good accessibility and economic feasibility. Finally, it is crucial to continuously monitor competitor movements after expansion. This involves tracking any new store expansions or closures by our rivals. We must regularly update competitor locations to maintain an accurate market view. This allows us to adjust our strategies quickly based on any market shifts or changes. To summarize, let us review the key takeaways from our discussion. These are the essential points to remember. For effective competitive analysis, GIS provides invaluable spatial insights, crucial for thorough competitive analysis. We can effectively identify market gaps and optimize our business positioning. Market penetration analysis consistently reveals significant growth opportunities for businesses. Trade area mapping is essential for understanding the full reach of our customer base. Well-informed, data-driven expansion strategies are vital for achieving business success. Continuous monitoring of the market ensures a sustained competitive advantage.